Now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning. Over 80 show partners now with the Real Estate Quarterback Show and our second brand called the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we all want to entertain, educate, engage, enlighten in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now I want you to pull out your smartphone and save our Consumer Advocate hotline number in your phone, 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894.
Baby.
And we want you to bookmark realestateradiotampa.com. That's our website, blog site. You can see a plethora of information, links to all of our expert contributors, as well as our listings with Platinum MVP Realty. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We want to educate, entertain, help you win, sort through a lot of the nonsense out there in the mainstream media, and provide you the timely truth and help you win. So let's go ahead around the horn here, make our introductions. First up is going to be Marshall Berner. He's an attorney here with Four Rivers Law Firm in Tampa Bay. Welcome back in, sir.
Thanks a lot, Brandon. Thanks for having me on again.
Perfect. What do you want to talk about today?
Today we'll talk about intellectual property, just kind of go over the basics of that, how to protect your intangible assets, and also emphasize that the intellectual property, how it is a valuable asset to your company.
Absolutely, sure is, man. You see that so many times with I was watching American Pickers last night. And they were picking the warehouse where they had Dr. Pepper, one of the earliest soda companies. I didn't realize they were actually before Coca-Cola, but it's going into they started talking a little bit about that. They touched on it, but and how they branded the slogan of 10, 2, and 4. They did a study of 10, 2, and 4 is a shot of Dr. Pepper is going to help keep your energy up during the workday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. Sure. Yeah, you touched base on the soda as far as Coca-Cola. I mean, one of the biggest intellectual properties out there is Coca-Cola's trade secret. I think only 2 people know that secret in the world and have ever seen it. I mean, it's just locked up somewhere.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So intellectual property, very, very key component of any business. And so that's Marshall Berner, attorney here, and partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And also in studio, Tara Richter, Richter Publishing. Welcome back in.
Yeah, thanks for having me in. Today I'm going to talk about the top 5 mistakes that new authors make and how to avoid them.
Excellent. Yeah, a lot of ways to avoid mistakes, and it's all about preparation and understanding what your message is behind your story and developing that core story, as Chet Holmes used to call it, the author of The Ultimate Sales Machine. Chet Holmes was a presenter and a speaker over at the Business Mastery course in Namale, Fiji. But yeah, developing that core story. And so this segment is brought to you by my health team, and I want to give a shout-out to Michael Vogt, Back in Health Massage, helping people with neck, back, shoulder, hip, and leg pain feel better. Shout-out to Michael Vogt, Back in Health Massage, voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the Tampa Bay Business Journal's Best in the Biz Awards, and he's located on Gun Highway in Tampa. And also part 2 of my health team is Ray Milton with Ray's Vegan Soul, where I'll hit you with a flavor. That's his tagline. And Ray Milton, you can find him on Facebook. Ray's Vegan Soul does a great job cooking these awesome meals for me. And that way, when I'm driving around, running around during the work week for appointments, or I even take these meals on the boat with me on the weekends, I don't have to pull into these fast food restaurants and eat something that's not healthy, and it's not going to help me maintain that stamina and that energy that you need to be at the top of your game. So let's go ahead and jump right into this great content. Marshall Berner, Four Rivers Law Firm. We're talking about intellectual property and ways that business owners can protect that property as well.
Yeah, sure. And just to be clear, this is how it all breaks down. You got your trademarks, they're your brands, your patents. They protect your ideas. Copyrights protect the original author's work. Then you have like your domain names, which is your web address, and then a business name, which is the entity. You're able to get permission from the state under state laws to also protect that name as well. Our company, Four Rivers Law Firm, we specialize in intellectual property law and civil litigation. But as far as the IP aspect, we can offer other business solutions. And when we're talking to companies that are developing a company, they're establishing their brand, and they most companies have a business plan when they're starting out.
Right.
And we want to make sure that they have a trademark component as part of that business plan. And we try to emphasize the importance of protecting their name or their intellectual property, because, like I said, it's their brand. It's their reputation. That's their goodwill in that company. We had a client recently who he has this service company. He's in the service industry, and he got a call one day, and his customer said, "Hey, where are you at?" And my client, he's responded, "We don't have an appointment today. What are you talking about?" So he goes, "Where are you located? Where's your appointment at?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm in named another city in the state." Wow. So he's like, "Wow." He goes, "I don't have a company there." So he goes on after the phone call. He goes on, Googles them, same name, same service industry, and everything, and the reviews are just horrible. So you think about protecting that company. When you talk about trademarking a company's name, you can automatically get trademark rights just by using the name in the state. So you get those geographical protections automatically, but not across the state borders from what you would get through a federal registration. But since they were both in the same state, we were able to get on the horn and send out a letter and stop that practice where they were infringing on this guy's name. Because you can imagine what if he continues to do it, what it would do to his reputation here.
Wow. Yeah. So how far away was it?
An hour and a half away.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's significantly close.
So for that other business, then think about that side of it. Is it's a cease and desist. Basically, you have to totally rebrand everything right away.
Well, yeah. If it's determined that the company whom you're infringing on already had the rights first, then yes, they would have to, or they would have to pay damages. You'd get involved in a lawsuit, infringement case, or something like that.
Right.
But see, that's the importance. That's why you should go ahead and just register. Get a federal registration. The cost is minimal compared to how you're going to protect your company. Mm-hmm. And once you have that federal registration, and if that case arises again, you automatically get damages. Wow. Automatically you get damages. So we can't emphasize the importance of protecting those assets.
So when you have a federal registry, is that with the USPT?
The USPTO.
Yeah, that's the office up there.
Yeah, well, there's a process. You go through the USPTO office, and they're the trademark office, the patent and trademark office. And first off, you have to do a search. You get on, you want to start up a company, or maybe you have a new marketing campaign, or you have a new product you want to sell, and you want to have that protected under a trademark. Yeah. Maybe under some slogan or line that you actually sell the product through. So you first would go through the USPTO office. They have a huge search engine of all the trademarks and patents that are registered, and you would conduct these searches. You do a common law search. Go on Google. Do a Google image search to see if the logo that you're going to attach to your brand is being used. And that just protects you so you're not infringing on someone else. Because once you start infringing on someone else, if they're protected first, then you're going to have to pay them damages. Wow. So, yeah, that's the first step is, getting that search. And that's part of our services that we provide is a legal opinion. Mm-hmm. And part of that legal opinion on whether or not a mark is available involves a significant amount of work done in a very comprehensive search across, the federal tools, common law tools. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's Marshall Berner, and intellectual property attorney here with Four Rivers Law Firm based in Tampa Bay, and also do civil litigation, intellectual property law. And yeah, it's a major discussion amongst business partners, and when you're strategizing and also potentially writing a second book. That's something you want to look at too, and make sure your book is going to be trademarked. So we're going to talk with Tara Richter here coming up as well. Richter Publishing, and talks about the benefits of publishing a book, ways that you can separate yourself from other business owners, and just by featuring yourself or being published, you're setting yourself apart as well. Marshall, your practice also does civil litigation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, civil litigation. I mean, that involves a number of things. It could be right now we have a couple personal injury cases. We have a tort action that we're working on. That's we're in heavy litigation right now with those cases. And we've taken on a variety of things right now, but our main focus going forward is IP law. That's like our first. That's where we want to be, in the future, strictly IP law.
Wow.
But as far as our, other things that we're dealing with, yes, the civil litigation is definitely something we're into right now as well.
Interesting. Yeah. Stay with us. You're listening to Real Estate Quarterback Show. We have a second brand now, the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we're here daily, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We want to be your number one consumer advocate, Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's number one consumer advocate, and we want to help you sort through a lot of the nonsense out there in the mainstream media, make you more street smart, give you that helicopter view of the market, things that you might not think about on your own. We're going to help you think about that and have a QAA formula with this show. You're going to have questions. We're going to provide you action items and answers so that way you can live a better life. And we want to be that turnkey solution for you. So stay with us. The best is yet to come. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Real Estate Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty. And this segment is brought to you by the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties, and they have a 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Shout out to the Maids, maids.com, referred for a reason. And we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, and we're listening to Real Estate Quarterback Show. I want to touch on a couple of hot listings we've got here, and we've got 9036 Moonlit Meadows Loop in Riverview. This is the Eagle Palm subdivision here, townhouse, 3-bedroom, 2 1/2 bath, over 1,626 square feet, listed at $149,000. Just hit the market. Great buying opportunity. 9036 Moonlit Meadows Loop. And also 435 Glen Eagles Drive in Davenport. Great buying opportunity in the Highlands Reserve. 5 bedrooms, 3 full bath, listed at over 2,381 square feet. Listed at $339,000. Also have a brand new listing on Madeira Beach. Great listing. It's a condo-tel. Lots of income coming in from that property. I think about $30,000 in bookings already at this Madeira Beach listing, and gorgeous views of the Tampa Bay there, Gulf Coast of Tampa Bay. Looking at the Gulf view every night, looking at the sunset. And so first segment, we heard from Marshall Berner. He's an attorney here in Tampa with Four Rivers Law Firm, and talking about intellectual properties, ways that you can protect your intellectual property. And now we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk with Tara Richter, Richter Publishing, back in studio. Benefits of publishing a book. Welcome in.
Thanks for having me in. I was actually going to talk today about the top 5 mistakes that new authors make, because unfortunately, a book does, like when you publish it, it makes you an expert in your industry.
Yep.
It raises your profile. However, if you make certain mistakes, it can actually discredit you and it can make your business look worse. So it always makes me nervous when I talk with people who, some people can't afford my services, and I totally understand that. But it's like, if you're going to go out there and do it yourself, there's some really important things that you want to avoid, so you still have a decent book out there. So I'm gonna go backwards, kind of like the Tonight Show.
Okay, good. That'd be fun.
And okay, so number 5, the number 5 most commonly made mistake by new authors is that they only publish a Kindle book and they don't do an actual paperback, and that's a big mistake, because the whole thing is, if you don't have a physical book, you can't do book signings. It's going to be hard for you to get on TV, because, they want that book. They want to hold it. They want to show it on the camera. So a lot of new authors, to save money, and they think it's going to be easier, is they're just going to do a digital book. Or to even go further than that, they'll just have a PDF download.
Let me comment on that too. And the other thing I use a lot of times for my book is when I'm going into a listing appointment and I'm having my own listing and I'm signing that inside cover, hey, here's a copy of my book.
Exactly. It's your calling card. You want to carry your books with you everywhere you go, because as we said, a lot of times having that book is, you could get, a huge client and make thousands of dollars, and it only costs you maybe $3 to buy the book.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you do that, and don't do just a PDF download.
Yeah.
Okay. If you write down some stuff and you put it in a PDF and you have people download it, that does not make you a published author. Okay. It's like a pamphlet. So don't do that. Number 4 is that they don't hire a professional to format their digital book properly if they do it. Now, when you have a Kindle and an iBook, you need a programming language, because there are no page numbers. It's actually, because everything has to be sized anywhere from the size of an iPhone to a tablet, to a computer, whatever. So basically, it's a programming language. So in the system, you can just take a Word document and upload it, but it's going to look horrible. And you don't want people to download that book and then it looks really bad, because that's going to make you look really bad. So, find the professional, pay someone to actually format that Kindle book properly, so that you can have the hyperlinks and the tabs and it flips through and it looks like it should.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the hyperlinks are really cool, because that's you're going to put in there different types of supporting documents, supporting websites. They're going to have some key points on there as well.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the tricks I do with my authors in the paperback and the digital versions is in the free preview, the 20% free preview. I'll put my website, I'll put their website, so people can actually look and see those links and click on them without even buying the book.
Great point.
Yeah, because that's kind of the point of our nonfiction business books, is to get business. So, so point number 3 is that they don't ask the right questions when they're signing a contract with a publisher. So I've seen this happen so many times, and it really irritates me, because there's publishers out there who actually don't put your book on distribution channels. And that's just horrible, because that's the whole point of publishing a book, is to have it on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, iTunes. And I've met people who have the book, but all they did was just print a book. It's not on distribution channels. Yeah. So you want to ask those questions with any publisher. Where is my book going to be distributed? What are my royalties? When do I get my royalties? I have met a couple authors, and some are doctors, so they're not stupid people. but their book has been published for a year and they've never got a royalty check.
Wow.
Nor have they ever got a report showing how many books they've sold.
Wow.
Like, how can you? I just don't even understand that. My authors, it's like 30 days. Okay, come on, where are my royalties? And I'm like, whoa, it's 60 days in arrears. But at least I tell them that up front so they're aware. And so these people who haven't gotten stats for a year, even 2 years,
Yeah.
what's going on? You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. And when you have a book on Amazon, can you just go to Amazon and look and see how many copies have been sold?
No,
really
you
tell
can't.
that?
No, it's all on the back end with reports.
Right.
But, you know, and the funny thing is that, you know, my system, it has all of my author's books in there. So I can't just let my author have the password and check it out.
Right.
But I hired a computer programmer to go in and actually pull all that data from all the different distributions, which is going to be available soon. So I'm really excited. So authors can log in and see their stats real time. So they'll be able to see what they're selling, where they're selling, and then we give monthly reports the first of every month, breaking it down in an Excel spreadsheet, and then we cut them a check.
Interesting. We're talking with Tara Richter of Richter Publishing here on the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Now, one of the other things I hear is that there's different. Whenever you do your initial release, there's different strategies. Some would say, I think you put it on at like a 99-cent sale. Can you talk about that, like strategy?
Yeah, you can do that. Like when we do the Amazon bestseller campaign for authors, what we'll do is we strategize, you know, the date that we're going to release it. We send emails out to get everyone excited to go and buy it on the same day. And then sometimes we will release it as a discounted price. And then it'll be that discounted price for 24 hours. And then we'll bump the price back up. Right. However, the only downfall with that is if you list the price at a discounted, you know, level at Amazon, then since you already plugged that price in, they can go and change it back to that price at any point in time.
Really?
Yeah, I have no control over that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, because like we'll do an Amazon bestseller campaign, have it $10 off. 3 months down the line, my author is emailing me, why is my book on sale again? And I look in, and because we put that initial price, they just went from $24.99 / $14.99, and I have no control over that.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it's up to their discretion.
It is. Amazon has a lot of control, which unfortunately I don't. But I mean, if you want to, you know, play ball, you have to play by the rules. So,
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's just kind of a tidbit. But okay, so number 2 is authors will design their own book covers. Okay, let me emphasize, if you do not have a degree in graphic design, if you have not worked in the copy and the print industry, do not design your own book cover.
Yeah.
I've seen horrible. And I had some examples I could bring in, but I don't want to give these, you know, people negative publicity, but just horrible. Like 72 DPI iPhone selfies. No. Okay, no. Like go get a professional photo taken.
Yeah.
In a studio, pay the $150, you know, and don't lay out your own cover. It's just, if you don't have that skill, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I have people come and ask me like, oh, I have a designer, so can you discount that price? I'm not going to, because the problem is what happens is when I get these covers from designers,
Yeah.
I get literally just the front. Okay. It'll just be this.
Right.
But the problem, a book is a 3-dimensional item. And so they don't give me the spine and they don't give me the back. So then I still have to come in and relay out and redesign all the covers no matter what.
Yep.
So hire the professionals.
Yeah, that's it.
And okay, the number 1 mistake that new authors make is that they have their mom edit their manuscript for them. Now, I'm not trying to bash anybody's mother, but once again, if she does not have a degree in English or grammar or journalism, you need to hire a professional to do it. Because we get some manuscripts in and it's like, oh, it's been edited. It's like, okay, who by? Oh, my best friend, my mom. And then the grammar's horrible. And I'm like, okay, no, we need to go through and edit this again because you don't want to have lots of mistakes. I mean, granted, and you know, 70,000 words, you're going to have a couple.
Yep.
But when it's massive, once again, it's going to discredit you and people aren't going to take you seriously.
Yeah, and we don't want that. That's the whole purpose of the book. And you know, being that published author, you're separating yourself from everyone else in your everyone else in your industry. So yeah, don't make those mistakes. Thanks for those top 5 tips and more from our experts here in studio. We're going to hear more from Marshall Berner. He's an attorney here with Four Rivers Law Firm in Tampa Bay, as well as Tara Richter of Richter Publishing here in studio. Stay with us. The best is yet to come. You're listening to Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradio.tampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes, Real Estate Quarterback Show. In studio, Marshall Berner, attorney with Four Rivers Law Firm. Tara Richter, owner of Richter Publishing, actually working on our second book and getting close down to the wire here, hopefully meeting our deadlines and having a lot of fun with it. Our first book is out on Amazon, by the way. It's the Real Estate Quarterback's Consumer Advocate Playbook. And, we have about 10 or 11 of our partners that are in the show, and they all are writing their top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. And we've got the foreword written by Tom Hopkins and Chris Brogan as well. So go to Amazon, download a copy, like it, review it, share it. We really appreciate that. And this segment is brought to you by Cornerstone PEO. Shout out to Greg Arnold, payroll, compliance, OSHA compliance. Let Cornerstone PEO help you with all of that. Greg Arnold, he does a great job with payroll processing, compliance, OSHA. You focus on being a great business owner. Let Greg and his team over at Cornerstone PEO assist with the other business functions, mainly consisting of payroll and some of those other types of services, things that you don't want to deal with anyways. So we're back here in studio. Let's go ahead and go around the horn here and get some consumer tips. First up is Marshall Berner here, Four Rivers Law Firm. What else are you seeing out there?
The first segment we were talking pretty much strictly on trademark and the federal registration, and that's actually the first way that you would protect your intellectual property. There's other ways. So once you get the registration, then what do you do? How else can I protect this asset, in my company? One thing you might do is own that asset in another name or another business entity, and separate it from the actual company in case the company suffers some kind of financial hardship or it could be a litigation or a bankruptcy or something like that, and you hold it over here, the intellectual property in like a separate holding company, or something like that.
Or a trust, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
You can stick it in a trust too. Absolutely. Another way, that kind of falls back onto actually getting the registration, and then you have to self-police the asset. Jump on Google, have someone in your company maybe do a search or put it on their calendar once a month or something like that, and try to figure out if there's anybody out there infringing on your rights and damaging or ruining your business's reputation. Similar to the example I gave you about the customer of ours that found out that there was a company operating an hour and a half away from here, using the exact same name just about for the exact same service. So self-police it, and once you find it, then you can actually take action against them and have them stopped. Because imagine if you don't self-police, that company continues, and they get those bad reviews, then it's going to hurt your business. Customers are going to find that and say, they must be related.
So
I'm
if
not
it's
going
the
to this
same
guy.
name and you have an LLC on the end of it, is that different enough, or is that going to be?
No. That's just the way how your business is organized as far as an LLC, and all that is just limiting liability if it's an LLC or PLLC or partnership corporation or anything like that. So that doesn't have anything that won't make it distinctive enough.
Right.
So that's the standard as far as consumer confusion and the underlying concept is being distinctive. So and another way is to ensure that if you do have intellectual property, you want to have some agreements set aside, like non-disclosure agreements, confidentiality agreements, and licensing agreements. I mean, you can license the use of your intellectual property assets and generate income that way, which is totally different than probably what your business is actually in the business of doing or selling those products.
Right.
For instance, a couple years ago, Kodak went into a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They were selling all the disposable cameras. Nowadays, everything's digital. Everything's done on the phone. What are they going to do?
Wow.
They had all these agreements in place. They were able to license out most of their intellectual property, their brand, and now to other manufacturers who now use that name Kodak on their products. So they've been able to secure and maintain a presence in the marketplace, even though they're not actually in the marketplace. It's very interesting.
Who else did that? Another good example, I think, is Crayola, isn't it? The Crayola, or there's one of those companies kind of like that. It was something similar, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But probably a lot of the big companies, I mean, they're protected. They have in-house counsel who, their main job is the intellectual property portfolio, if you will, and that's all they're probably sitting there doing all day long.
Right.
Protecting those assets. How can I make money off this? Can we license it out? Are we not using this one? Is this one not making enough money? Let's license it out to another company who can use it, and then we can collect a fee off of it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting. So what's another success story maybe here locally, something? If you just joined us, you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We're talking with Marshall Berner. He's an attorney here in Tampa Bay with Four Rivers Law Firm, and we're talking about intellectual property, trademarks, brands, domains, websites, civil litigation, and IP. So you have any success stories that come to mind, anything that you've done or you've seen things to look out for?
Things to look out for, with companies, I always tell these clients of mine to, if you have a trademark, use the symbol, the TM, or if it's federally registered, use the R, because then you get to use the R, and you're putting the world on notice. And then also, go back to the self-policing. But as far as success stories, in my practice, I'm not going to talk about any lawsuit in particular.
Right.
But we've had some good success. Yesterday was a fun day. We were able to get what we wanted from an opposing party. So.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That's always to see the payoff at the end.
Oh yeah, I mean it's hard work. It's a lot of hours, dedicated, and that's one of the reasons I had to cancel on you last month, man. I mean, I've been nonstop for the last 2-3 weeks, and going to these hearings after hearing after hearing, and to get the result that you want to get, it's very.
So a lot of it is actual in court litigation, whereas a lot of some of the other attorneys.
earlier you were saying, okay, we're in civil litigation. Yes, civil litigation. What is litigation? It's not actually like we're going to trial. Like, they say 90% of cases settle, but that doesn't mean that you're not in court. So yeah, we go to court. We have hearings. The process, you can get into different disputes before you would actually get to that trial phase. And that's where the lawyering happens, the strategic aspects of lawyering in those pretrial phases. And you find yourself in court quite a bit in front of the judge, trying to get information from another party. And that's what litigation is. Yeah,
it's about discovery. Hey, so show your cards. We're going to ask you these questions. Find out. We want you to produce these documents.
Oh, sure. But, so say, for instance, you want a bunch of documents from a company, a business. Say you're going up against some big business or something, and you ask for all these documents, and they could raise an objection and say, trade secrets. I can't give it to you because it's a trade secret, which falls under intellectual property. And what's a trade secret to a company? A trade secret could be a customer list. They're not going to disseminate that information. A trade secret is about the intent of keeping it a secret,
right?
Earning a independent economic value on that secret. Other examples, I guess, could be your customer list, your marketing campaigns, your pricing strategies, and all that falls under the intellectual property umbrella as well.
Yeah, interesting. It's a strategy. It's a lot about strategy. It's all about, how do you structure the organization? How do you predispose, or how do you predetermine the way that you're going to attack a certain situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah,
good stuff. And Tara, on the book titles and different things you're seeing on your side, let's talk a little about you had a interesting situation where you've outsold. You had one of your authors outsell John Grisham. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was Plaintiff 101, and we made it a #1 Amazon bestseller, pushing John Grisham down to #3 for about 3 days.
Wow.
So that was pretty awesome. And we're actually getting ready to release her audiobook now about a year later, and we're strategizing to do an Amazon bestseller campaign with that. So it would be really cool if we made it #1 bestseller in the audiobook and the Kindle and the paperback realm. That would be really awesome.
Personally, that's my flavor, man. I like to plug in and listen rather than actively read. I know some people are the opposite. They'd rather get the highlighters out and highlight and underline. I just love the ability to jump on my bike or go to the gym or whatever I'm doing and just listen to great content being poured into my brain.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important to hit it up in all 3 aspects, to do the paperback, do the Kindle, and do the audiobook.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see the power of the audiobook, but I think for younger generations, they're more in tune to that with the podcast and the on-demand and, just listening and stuff like that. So I really do think it's important to do the podcast, the podcast. Those are good too, but
the audiobook.
The audiobook. So, one of the strategies we did, because with the Plaintiff 101, she has a lot of note sections in the back of the book, and she was concerned about that. And I'm like, well, all we have to do is put together a little PDF guide, which I did the other week. That's like 10 pages long. We put it on your website. It's a free download. And then we mention it in the book when people are listening to it. So when they're listening, it's like, oh, by the way, go here to our website, download this. You can take notes, as you go along. So there's a lot of, interaction that you can do, in all different ways.
Love it. Kind of like a workbook, it helps you, because that's the best time to capture those ideas is when they're fresh on your mind. Write it down, commit to it, get those ideas out there, design your logos, whatever that next item, next action item might be. Great time to do it. So when we come back, we're going to talk more with Tara Richter, Richter Publishing, and we're also going to hear parting words from Marshall Berner, Four Rivers Law Firm. Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. This segment's brought to you by Hula Bay, the official restaurant partner of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Great waterfront dining ambiance down on Tyson Boulevard, just off of West Shore in South Tampa. Waterfront dining, sushi, awesome food, great service. And they also have Duke's, the surfer bar, retired surfer bar down there. And great restaurant partner. Over a year now, year plus, we've been partnered up with Hula Bay, have our gratitude parties there every now and then, have a pool party over there last month. It was a good time. And we're here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa here. We're talking with attorney Marshall Berner, Four Rivers Law Firm, as well as Tara Richter. She's the owner of Richter Publishing. And before the break, we were kind of talking about Plaintiff 101, edged out John Grisham and the bestseller, New York Times bestseller, and the importance of putting out the different types of books, the audio version as well as the Kindle version. So what else are you seeing in your world?
Well, one thing I kind of wanted to touch on for some tips, since we're talking about searching and protecting, your ideas and everything like that. One thing that's important is when you're coming up with a title for your book, that you go out there and you search on Amazon and even just on the web and see if there's other books that have similar titles, or what your title pulls up. Because I had an instance with, it was a book with 3 different authors, and they wanted to kind of get people's attention and, kind of be out there a little bit. So they went with the popular, tag terms like, what was it? It was WTF.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I won't give the whole title of the book, but that was part of it. But it actually stood for something else. What's the focus?
Oh.
But the problem is that when you search the title in Amazon, porn comes up.
Oh, goodness.
So since it's a business book and they're business coaches, you don't want that to be tied with your business. And unfortunately, what happened was I purchased the ISBN after we purchased the ISBN. We literally already had it published, and then she started searching it, the author, and this was pulling up. Well, once you lock in ISBN, that's a social security basically number that's tied with the book, and you can't change it.
Oh, man.
Okay. So then the other problem that comes is once it's published on Amazon, you can never take a book down. So you can never really unpublish from Amazon. So then it's like, well, we can change it, but then you're going to have 2 books listed, and then people are going to be confused.
Wow.
So you want to do your due diligence and search. She got what she wanted. She got people's attention.
Wow.
But maybe not so much in the right way.
Yeah.
So, you want to make sure when you have that title, you go out there, you Google it, you go onto Amazon, see if there's other books that are similar and just what those terms pull up so that people don't get confused or they don't get offended when they're trying to find your book and they find something else. Yeah,
I'm excited about our book coming out. It's we're a few weeks out, I guess, and it's when you did that initial search, not much came up. Yeah, there wasn't hardly anything that came up about the topic, the title, really the overall concept, which was interesting. There were some blog sites out there that had some stuff, but nothing was 100% whole with the whole concept, which I was kind of surprised. Right. Honestly, and I don't know if we're going to tell them what it's about or not, or we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna keep them on the edge of their seats out there. Yeah. No, but I think it's really cool. I'm excited about the information because I've been in radio myself for a long time. Yep. Had my own show back a couple of years ago, so I think it has a ton of information, and the cover's super cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited about it. It's going to be cool. It's going to be neat. It's going to have an opportunity to help other people, with the coaching aspect that's really big on it. I think the coaching side is going to play really hand in hand with, the public speaking focus that I'm kind of pushing out into now to help, emceeing events, emceed last year's Wine, Women, and Shoes event. We did a sports banquet for a local school here in Tampa Bay recently. So, that's something I'm passionate about, kind of moving into that space and, just continuing to move in that on-stage presence. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully it'll be published here in, I don't know, maybe like the next month. I think we could get it done. Cool. Awesome. Looking forward to it. That's going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And, so if you just joined us, you're listening to Real Estate Quarterback Show, the Consumer Quarterback Show, as well as our second brand. And we're talking with Tara Richter. She's the owner of Richter Publishing, as well as Marshall Berner. He's an attorney here in Tampa Bay with Four Rivers Law Firm. Let's go ahead and enter our lightning round. All right, top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. Let's go right here with Marshall Berner. top consumer tips for our listeners out there?
If you have a slogan or a logo, some type of phrase or unique idea, it's intellectual property, and you should protect it. It's an asset. It could be a valuable asset. Apple's little icon just moved up second in the list. It's worth over $100 billion for that thing.
Wow.
It's that's not a physical asset. It's your intangible property and your intellectual property. And
so that's second on the list.
If you have it, then first is Google.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you have something like that, make sure you protect it and give us a call. Our phone number, we got a new phone number, 1-844-4LAW.
844
4LAW, FOUR law.
Got it. Awesome. Yep. And we're also, all of our partners are listed at realestateradiotampa.com. Just click on the Expert Contributors tab. You'll see Marshall's contact information, photo, websites, all the information there as well. And we want you reaching out, engaging, so we can help you live a better life. And Tara, what's your top consumer tip?
Well, as I was talking about all the top 5 mistakes that new authors make, I mean, really my tip is you need to hire a professional. To write your book, edit the book, write the book, publish the book, lay it out, the whole thing. You really want a professional if you don't know how to do things in your realm. So, the whole thing is that we offer financing for our authors. So some of our packages are as low as around $115 a month.
Wow.
So, anybody can afford that, and you want to do it so that you have a professional book out there and you don't have these very bad ones that I use as examples in my workshops of what not to do.
Yeah, when people see it, they're going to say, "Come on!" So $115 a month.
That's our lowest package.
So for the lowest package, financing available. You can take Tara Richter up on this offer, and Richter Publishing, have them set you apart from your competition. She's going to write your book for you, so you're going to sit down with them and talk to them about their business, ask them pointed questions, and you're going to write the book, right?
Yeah, that package is more expensive.
Okay.
Because that takes a lot of time. That one's the one if they actually they write the book themselves, they hire their own editors, and they give it to us clean and ready to go. And then we format, we design the cover, we publish it on distribution channels all over the world in paperback and digital format.
Okay.
But we will read through and make sure that the editors did their job properly.
Okay. So a little bit more expensive for the full.
Yeah,
gold,
for us to come in, right?
Platinum.
Yeah, it's a little more expensive. But all they have to do is I always do free 30-minute phone consultations.
Yep.
Just go to my website, richterpublishing.com, and the Contact Us button, and I am more than happy to have a phone call with anybody and discuss, how we can help them.
Perfect. Yeah, just a way that you can grow your sphere of influence. People ask me a lot of times, hey, how did you start the show? What did you think about with the Real Estate Quarterback Show? Over 3 years ago now that we've been, rocking and rolling here and just growing our sphere of influence. And, it's about separating yourself. It's about being different. It's about innovation and differentiation. And I think so many times people are, they're stuck on someday isle. It's like they're stranded on this island. You got to vote yourself off the island and get off of someday isle and go ahead and have the self-discipline and to go ahead and separate yourself if you are in, that business. Again, some people may not be in a business that lends to that. Maybe you want to take a look at, I know we talked about it before too, is, interviewing your elders, talk to your elders. That's a pretty cool story there. When I talk to my grandmother, sometimes she talks about how the day after her wedding, she was back out in the fields working. Talk about a different lifestyle.
Absolutely. And that's, some of the books that we do is, memoirs, to leave a legacy, talking about your life. And the cool thing is that you can write a book about your life. And then when you passed on, your kids can buy the book, your grandkids can buy the book. It'll be on distribution channels forever.
Yeah.
So 100 years from now, someone can go in your family and download the Kindle or buy the paperback, whatever. And instead of having to go to those, ancestry websites and finding out what they say, you can hear it directly from grandma or grandpa. And just how cool would that be that you can just go and download grandma's book?
Yeah, there's a great idea. Call up your grandparents, find out, hey, are you interested in this? And these days it's so easy too. You can get a first draft by talking into your iPhone, sending it, to your email and putting it together yourself. And then you take Tara up on the $115 monthly offer. It's a great opportunity. So
absolutely.
Yep. So, hey, I want to thank all of our listeners out there. We really appreciate you listening and checking out our podcast. Go to our websites as well and pull up on the YouTube channel. A lot of great video content out there on YouTube. A lot of great information that you can research a lot of different topics and learn more about it just from, checking out our YouTube channels. Go to facebook.com/REQB show. We also want to remind you we have the show is on daily here at 7 p.m. iHeartRadio. On the weekends, we have a show on 102.5 The Bone. You can stream all of our shows live as well from realestateradiotampa.com. Just click on the live stream link. See links to all of our partners, the finest folks that we've assembled, all based in the Tampa Bay market here, the Gulf Coast region. We want to help you win and help you engage, enlighten, and live a better life. And we do have a property of the month here. It's 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. Beach Park, beautiful property, 4 bedroom, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, $1.195 million, 4,800 square feet, over 4,800 square feet, beautiful property. And we want you to go out there and please consider making a random act of kindness. We'll see you here next time. Thanks so much.